Hello and welcome to the Key Light Air MK.2 demo and Q&A stream. I'm your host, Phil. I'll be the pretty much only one on camera today. Hi. We also have Burrito joining us behind the scenes. Are you coming in, Burrito?
Hello. Hello, I'm behind the scenes. So I'll be reading your chat messages, answering your questions, also just chit chatting with Phil about Key Light Air Mark II. So thank you guys so much for joining in today. Later today, we'll also be giving away a Key Light Air Mark II, so definitely make sure to stay tuned. We are streaming on an extra platform today. So hello to those of you joining us from X.
For the first time.
For the first
Yeah.
time, yeah. Welcome on in. And yeah. Awesome.
You've already put on your announcer voice. It sounds like I'm at a baseball game and I've just got in the background, and we've got player number 12 stepping up to the pitch now. But yeah, let's talk about Key Light Air Mark II. We're going to talk about lighting today. We're going to talk cameras, a little bit about video. You're going to see how Key Light Air Mark II can fit into your setup. It's the most flexible light we've ever made in the way that you can power it, in the way that it is set up, in the areas that you can use it, and how you can control it. So it's really exciting. Question for everyone in the chat, everyone who's watching. Did you already purchase a Key Light Air Mark II? Do you have one on the way? Did it already arrive if you have one? And if so, you have it already set up, let me know in the chat. I want to see it. And I can see all of the chats, by the way. So it doesn't matter if you're on YouTube, Twitch, X. I can see all of the messages come in. Hoping to win one today, Rez. Okay, that's good. Yeah, we are going to be doing a giveaway of Key Light Air Mark II later in the stream, so stay tuned for that one. We've got a fun keyword. I'm sure you guys will attempt to already guess it. I doubt that you will. We'll be going over that later. Let's see. I'm using natural light from the window, or sometimes studio, or at times studio lighting. Mr. 8CS. You might try your luck. Okay. So not many Key Light Air Mark II out there, but like Mr. What was it? Mr. CS, where was it? Oh, Mr. 8CS said, they're using natural lighting. What is your current lighting setup? I want to know. Do you just have a window in front of you? Do you have key lights? Do you have Key Light Neo or Key Light Air? Are you just using a room light, something overhead? We're in a studio here, so I do have two Key Light Airs set up already, two Key Light Air Mark IIs. I have another one on the desk, of course, close to me. We also have some studio lighting here just to make sure that the stream is always looking good, looking crisp.
Yeah.
MP Zinc light, what's that? That's a good question. We'll talk about that today.
Some people in chat may not have seen Key Light Air Mark II before, so I think we actually have a great trailer here, so let's go ahead and check that out.
I understood that light really mattered when I got a comment. It said, "Huge step up in quality, well done."
And someone joined my stream and they said, the lighting in your stream is so cozy and warm and inviting.
I started introducing colors and lighting for the background, and then I started getting a lot of compliments.
And the only thing I changed was the lighting.
All right, and that is Key Light Air Mark II. So like I said, just before we went to the trailer, we've actually got two set up here. We've got a full streaming setup. This is, of course, one of the configurations that you can do when you get your Key Light Air Mark II. You can use one, you can use two. We have them on the height adjustable clamp mounts here. But now let's take a look at some of the features of Key Light Air Mark II and go over everything, and then we'll dive into how to actually set it up, how to use it, and more. So let's head over here to our system. We'll just run through to the PC. We'll just run through all the features quickly and then jump into the hardware. So of course, Key Light Air Mark II is available right now at Elgato.com, so you don't have to wait. You can purchase it today. Our team did a beautiful job on this site here to show you all of the features of it. There's also some really cool stuff. I just want to mention this right away. So first of all, you can choose between two different models when you make your purchase. The first one is with a mount, and the second one is the light only. We know some of you in your studios, you already have mounts. You might already have a tripod or a C-stand or whatever it might be, so you can get the light only without the clamp mount. There's also bundles, and I'm sure this will become a little bit more relevant as we talk about it, and you'll see why. But you can also choose accessories. You can either get a power supply with Key Light Air. It does not come with one out of the box because you can just plug it into your computer. Or you can also get the creative bundle here where it comes with a focus grid, and that lets you shape the light a little bit more. You get 50% off of that focus grid versus if you were to buy it just standalone kind of on the side. So we'll also show you the focus grid today, what effect that has on the lighting, and of course dive into the power because new to Key Light Air Mark.2 is that it is USB-C powered. So you can customize what you get. And then we also have a setup builder. But before we do that, let's go down here. And again, our team worked with a bunch of incredible creators. So these are real setups here. These are real creators that you can see. And you can get an idea of what the light looks like and how it can affect your video. The highlight features are, of course, that it gets up to 2100 lumens. So this light gets very, very bright. That's bright enough to use in a larger room, a larger studio, and provide plenty of light. If you have just one, if you have two, you are completely covered. For kind of reference, our original Key Light Air output about 1400 lumens, and our larger Key Light does about 2800. So this is right in the middle there between those two. Thanks to the edgelit design, the edgelit LED design, there's no hotspots or just any harsh light pointed directly at you. The LEDs are actually in the edges and reflect out from the back, go through diffusion, and then come at you. There's 256 of these high-quality OSRAM LEDs in there, and those also let you then adjust the color temperature. So you can go from a cool 2900K to a warm 7,000, or sorry, it's the opposite. And yeah, you can make it look like you're almost like outside with natural sunlight, or during a sunrise or a sunset. Make sure that your skin tones look really great. Or let's say you're doing a product unboxing, you can just shape the light how you need it. Of course, mounting is something that is really exciting with this light. It's the most flexible light that we've ever done in that regard. You have a bunch of different options here. From 1/4-inch thread, there's 3 different mounts points there, to also using MagSafe for the first time. And we'll show you that as well. It comes with a clamp mount, so it clamps onto your desk. Again, that's that optional clamp mount that you can choose when you get your Key Light Air Mark.2. You can also use it with any other mount, just using those 1/4-inch threads or the MagSafe. And let's see what else. There's the optional focus grid. This actually helps shape the light a little bit more. So typically the light goes everywhere, right? It's diffused. It just comes out of the surface area, this 15-inch LED panel, and it goes everywhere. It lights up your whole setup. But if you want to make your light look a little bit more dramatic, how you appear on camera, you want to maybe keep your background darker so that way you can add some LEDs for aesthetic, then you can use the focus grid for that. Burrito, question for you. Are you going to use focus grid on yours and your setup, or are you going to roll without it?
I don't think so for my setup because I think when I stream, I move around so much. I don't really want there to be less spill. I actually want to illuminate the whole space. So it doesn't make sense for my setup, but I think for those of you who are, kind of sitting at your desk, you want maybe like a neon sign behind you, you want like a moody look in your background, that's definitely a better fit.
All right. Chat as well. If anyone, are you using a focus grid already, or are you thinking about focus grid for the first time? Because if so, we'll show you that later and how that looks. Then, of course, you come to the control options. There are plenty this time around. There's actually 4. You have touch controls right on the light. You can control it via Stream Deck. You can control it via Control Center right on your computer. And then there's also the mobile app on your iPhone or Android device. So 4 different ways to control it. And then you can power it in 3 different ways. Of Of course, well, there's USB-C, so you can connect it just to a wall adapter or to your computer. You can plug it into that wall adapter, or also a portable battery bank if you want to, which is pretty cool. And then if you have a MagSafe one, well, that could attach to the back of the light, and you almost have like a portable light there. So that's a quick overview of the Key Light Air page here and some of the features. We'll dive into the hardware in a bit. If you are building a setup, you can do you can actually save some money here by building a full streaming setup here by just using this configurator. So you can choose your lights if you're looking to upgrade to a new camera, for example. The more you add in here, the larger the discount becomes. So if you've been thinking about maybe upgrading to a new light and a new camera, or you also want to add control to that at the same time, so maybe light, camera, and a Stream Deck, then we can add that here. For example, Stream Deck Plus. There we go. Now you're saving 10% on this entire purchase. Plus, you still get to choose if you want that free power adapter or half off that focus grid. So lots of opportunities here to upgrade your setup and to dive into the Elgato ecosystem if you're joining us for the first time here. And then we just have some more beautiful pictures here. These are all from different creators. Some of this is our own studio, but most of these are actually from creators. And at the bottom, we also have a comparison, but that comparison we'll jump into during the live stream. We also have all these other lights here. So with that being said, I want to take some questions and just, got any questions about Key Light
We
Air
got
Mark II?
questions.
All right, let's do that.
We got a question from Mana who says, is the mount the same as Key Light Air Mark 1?
It is not. So the Key Light Air Mark 1 came with a desk stand. So you put it on your desk and that was pretty much it. The Key Light Air Mark II comes with a similar, it looks similar, so it has that same kind of curvature in it. However, it clamps to your desk. It does not stand on your desk. So in fact, maybe I can, I'll just pull that up here again on the page. Where was that? Right about there. And then, I can also, we'll get it set up here. Slightly different one, actually. That's that was the Key Light Air. Yeah. So this one right here is the Key Light Air Mark II. So you can see it's got the clamp mount, and then it's got this telescoping pole here, and it's got this curvature. So this is the Key Light Air Mark II. And then putting this down, this is the Key Light Air Mark 1. So that's the difference there. It's still got this telescoping pole, and it's still got that curvature, but of course it comes with the base. So that's the difference there. The Key Light Air Mark II comes with the clamp mount. This. Okay, let's see. What other questions do we have?
Next question, is that a magnet mount?
It does. So Key Light Air Mark II is MagSafe compatible. Now, what that means is, and I'll just cover this briefly before we dive into the mounting options more specifically. What that means is there's actually a magnetic ring here at the back of the light, and it's MagSafe compatible. So if you have something like a battery pack that has MagSafe on it, you can actually just attach it and it'll stick on there. Or if you have a MagSafe mount on something like a tripod, then you can attach that to the light to that. So we actually have one here. So this is a like a MagSafe adapter. It's got a 1/4-inch thread on there. You can actually just attach the light. Ooh, that's a satisfying snapping sound. And now, kind of see there, it's holding the light. And of course, if you had this on a tripod or some other sort of mount, right, it could be overhead. You could now rotate the light. And then if you're done or you want to move it in a different setup, you just unhook it and move it somewhere else. Of course, you still need power, right? But it makes that super, super easy to attach anywhere you want.
Right. And then Jojo asks, how harsh is it on your eyes? They find that all lights they've tried have been tiring after a short time.
I think some of that will depend on your setup and how you just you as an individual. These lights are just like all Elgato key lights are edge lit and have multiple layers of diffusion. What this means is that there's no LEDs pointed directly at you. Instead, the LEDs are actually around the side of the light and they fire inwards, and there's a reflective back, and then the light actually bounces off that and goes through those multiple layers of diffusion coming at you. What that means is there's no hot spots and the light is a little bit softer. It's still bright though, right? I mean, if you crank this thing to 100%, it's still a very bright light, and that can be tiring to look at. So you just have to lower that. But overall, I mean, we've been using these lights for quite a while now. There's many creators out there who have been using not just the Key Light Air Mark II, but even our brighter lights and bigger ones like the Key Lights, and they've been working great. So there's multiple pieces that come together here, but at the end of the day, it's going to be up to you. So, for example, some people are more sensitive to light. Some people are, if you're wearing glasses, also, there could be reflectivity from that. So there's different elements that come together there.
All right. I got like 12 questions here.
12
Do you want to
questions. All right,
run
well,
through
let's
them all?
run through a couple more, and then
Okay.
we'll take a closer look at the hardware specifically.
Got it. All right. Well, another question, or more of a statement we have from Mr. 8. I do some photography, so if you want focus light for a side profile to light up the opposite side, they can see why focus grid would be useful for that.
Yep, and we'll show off the focus grid there in a bit here as well. This is the first Elgato light that also has an optional focus grid accessory, which is pretty cool, and that is also magnetically mounted. It's awesome. Our team did a really great job just making it easy to use this light, and again, just making it incredibly flexible.
All right. And then next up, Big Bot says, that's so good. I got to, they have to face their light to the wall to save their eyes, which is actually a great strategy for some extra diffusion too.
Absolutely, yeah. Especially if you have, let's say you might have one light pointed at you and you have a second light and you want to just light up your room, you could take that second one, instead of pointing it at you, you actually point it away and at the wall and just crank that brightness to 100%. And then you use your wall as extra diffusion, and it bounces the light around your room a little bit more. So it can create a more natural look, and of course, then it won't be as bright on you. So there are lots of different ways that you can use Key Light Air Mark II.
Awesome. All right. And then from Mr. 8, might be good for side profile lighting. Then we have Sean, who says, wait, this is going to be fire. I have one Elgato Key Light and one Stream Deck, and I'm so excited for this Mark II. Yeah, I think that Key Light Air Mark II is a great addition, especially if you already have a Key Light as your second light. So basically to fill in the other side of your face, make sure that you have even flattering lighting. So that's going to fit in really well with your setup. And of course, with that Stream Deck control, you can control both of those lights. Mana says they're actually using gel filters right now clipped onto their Key Light Air Mark I with C47 clips.
That's we don't have gel filters for the Key Light Air Mark II, but it sounds like you found a solution there. So if you're not familiar with what a gel filter is, essentially it's a you can almost imagine it like plastic, like a plastic sheet that's see-through that has a certain color on it, and you put that in front of your light. In the case of Manaboshi here, they've actually just like kind of clamped it onto the light, like holding it from the sides. But with that, what you can do is get even more intense light. So if you want a more specific color, if you want it more blue or red or green or something like that, or you want even warmer light, then you could put like an orange gel filter in front of it, and it'll get even more intense.
Awesome. Then from Lexi, MagSafe is such a W. Hello, Lexi. That's a very Lexi message.
It very much is.
Then Rez says, are there presets to control several lights? So if they want a key light brighter, then with the app, can they do a third light for, say, hair light?
So there's not exactly presets in Control Center. However, you can very easily adjust the lights if you have the app or it's on Stream Deck or it's on your PC, it's super easy to just control them individually. It's just 2 sliders, 1 color temperature. It gives you a readout of the color temperature and the brightness. So you can also match them. If you do want to control them all at the same time, we do have that option. That's especially nice if you have 2 that are pointed at you and you want them to be even. Then you can set an option to like control all accessories at the same time. But there's currently no grouping functionality. There is one interesting way that you could actually do this though, and and that's using Stream Deck. So Stream Deck has something called multi-actions where you can combine multiple actions together. You could create a multi-action where you basically you choose 2 of your lights or 3 of your lights or, just one, and you basically say, okay, I want these 2 lights to go to this color temperature and this brightness, and it's only those 2 lights, not the third one, right? So that's one way that you could do this with Stream Deck.
Awesome. Well, I want to answer one more question just because I think this will be relevant to most people in chat. And then I think we can go ahead and continue with some demos. So the question I want to answer is, can I trade in my Key Light Mark 1 and Mark 2 for an upgrade to Key Light Air Mark 2?
Unfortunately, no. We don't have an upgrade program.
Yep. But we do have discounts on bundles. So if you are looking for like an extra special deal, like Phil showed on the website earlier, you can basically build a setup and get a discount on your full purchase. So, yeah.
Also, something to keep in mind is, in this case, Brother Bukola, you said it's Key Light Mark 1s and Key Light Mark 2. So Key Light is actually a bigger and brighter panel than the Key Light Air Mark 2, right? So our current lighting lineup is we have the Key Light Neo, which is great for putting on your monitor. It's smaller, great for kind of on the go if you're using a laptop, if you're in an office, something like that. Then you have the larger Key Light, which is what you have. That's our largest light. It's our largest panel, gets up to 2,800 lumens. And then the Key Light Air Mark 2 sits right in between those, right? So you have a 15-inch panel, gets up to 2,100 lumens. You have these different mounting options. So that's something to think about is, in your case, you may not actually need to upgrade, right? You already have a Key Light Mark 1 and a Key Light Mark 2. Obviously, if you want options like the physical controls or the MagSafe mounting, then that's something to look at. But I just wanted to point that out. But okay, lots of great questions already. As a quick reminder, we will be giving away a Key Light Air Mark 2 later in the stream today, so stay tuned for that. Stick around for that. Get your questions into the chat. We'll be queuing them up. Now, let's take a look what you actually get in the box when you get a Key Light Air Mark 2. So we'll come over here and move some things around. And Brito, if you could grab me a cable as well, the USB cable. So let's take a look here. This is what you get. Actually, let me see if I can coil this cable up a little bit nicer. It's a little bit, we'll do this. All right. I'm by no means a cable. I should, after all my years of like doing events and, even doing studio setups and whatnot. I always admire people who can do like really nice cable bundling. But all right, so let's take a look at what you get in the box with Key Light Air Mark 2. So first and foremost is going to be your Key Light Air Mark II here. It comes wrapped in paper, and this is the light. You have all your mounts at the back here, your MagSafe, you've got your USB-C, you've got your reset and your Wi-Fi indicator, and you've got your 1/4-inch mounting points there, which we'll dive into in a little bit. Next, you, of course, get the clamp mount, the telescoping clamp mount here. So it's got the clamp at the bottom. It's got this ratchet lever, which is really cool. And then at the top, you have the ball head mount here, so you can angle the light however you need it. And the telescoping part, the part that actually raises here, has numbers on it, which is really handy if you use multiple lights and you want them all to be at the same height. So this clamps onto your desk, and then you attach your Key Light Air Mark II to the top here on that 1/4-inch thread. Finally, in the box, you get a very long USB C-to-C cable here. It's braided. It's got Elgato on it. It's got the markings on it. This is our signature thing, right? We mark on here the speed of this USB cable. In this case, this is just going to be a USB 2.0 cable because that's all you need for power and the data here. So that's what you get in the box with Key Light Air Mark II, is the light, USB-C cable, and the clamp mount. Now, when you purchase Key Light Air Mark II from Elgato.com, you have the option of also adding a free 30-watt wall adapter to that. So you might have noticed that there's no power adapter in the box, and that's because Key Light Air Mark II is powered primarily, first and foremost, by your computer. You can just plug it into your computer and power it that way. However, if you want the full brightness out of it and you want that full 2100 lumens, then you need something that can provide 30 watts. Some USB ports will do that, but if they don't, then you can add this optional P30 power adapter for free when you purchase it at Elgato.com. Yeah, so that is an optional add-on there for the Key Light Air Mark II. The other one is the focus grid, but we're not going to talk about that one just yet. For now, what I want to do is let's actually look at the light itself, and we'll look at the back, we'll look at all the mounting options, then we'll look at power and go from there. See here. So let's look at the back of the Key Light Air Mark II here. So this is going to be well, actually, we'll start with the front here. We'll start at the front with an overview of it. This is the front of the Key Light Air Mark II. This is that 15-inch panel that you get here with the LEDs along the outside and that multi-diffusion at the front. At the bottom here are actually a couple capacitive buttons. So you've got a minus, a plus, and then you have preset 1 and preset 2. Minus and plus are going to be used to adjust the brightness and the color temperature when you're not controlling it via Wi-Fi or your computer. And then you also have these presets here. Now, these presets, you can save the brightness and the color temperature and into these different slots. And so you might save a lower brightness and maybe a little bit of a warmer color for one part of the day. And then you could save a different color temperature and a different brightness if you, let's say, move the light to a different part of your setup, or let's say, you know, it gets cloudy outside and it gets a little bit darker with that natural light. You can boost the brightness just with this preset. The plus and the minus here, what you actually do to change between the color temperature and brightness adjustment, you just tap on both of them at the same time. So you tap on plus, you tap on minus at the same time, and it switches then the light from brightness to color temperature control and back. Then on the back of the light here, you have your 3/4 inch mounting points. So these are 1/4 inch threaded mounting points, or quarter. Is it quarter 20? That's another way to call it. So this is like the industry standard, right? If you have a camera, if you have any sort of mounting equipment, going to be compatible with the Key Light Air Mark II. At the center here, you also have your MagSafe magnets, and at the bottom is USB-C. So this USB-C is how you power the light. It can take anything from 30 watts all the way down to, I think it's like 5 at the minimum, something like that. And based on how much power you give it, you'll also be able to increase the brightness on it. So most USB-C ports will give you around 15 watts of power. So you can get around, I think it's close to 1,000 lumens on that. So just by plugging it into your computer, if you want that full brightness, you'll need to supply it with 30 watts. So that would be something like a wall adapter, or certain USB ports can also do that, or a battery pack that does PD power. You also have a Wi-Fi indicator over here. So this is just a little LED that shows you when it's connected to Wi-Fi and the light is on. And then you also have a reset hole here to reset the Wi-Fi connection. You don't need to use Wi-Fi to control the light, right? You can connect it via USB-C directly to your computer, and then it's using that wired connection. You can use the capacitive buttons on the front of the light. So there are multiple options there. You don't necessarily need to use Wi-Fi. And yeah, then you have some venting holes here just for, you want to keep the light. Of course, if you're running it at max brightness, it can get warm. So just make sure you keep these clear, but I don't think that'll be an issue in most cases. So that's a look at the front and the back of Key Light Air Mark II. It's an awesome panel here. It's really nice. Do we have any questions coming in or anything we can cover before we jump into...
We have a couple. Let me go ahead and grab one for you. Well, already Smooth wants to see focus grid. I think that most people want to see it. They haven't seen it in action before. So maybe we can actually set you up with your two lights. You can show the difference.
Yeah, let's do it. All right, so this right here is focus grid. It's an optional accessory for Key Light Air Mark II. If you purchase Key Light Air Mark II from Elgato.com, you get 50% off focus grid as an option. You can also just purchase it individually separately after the fact. You can see here there's some magnets in here. So those are these bright spots, and that's how it attaches to the light. So it actually just snaps on to the front of it. And it's called a focus grid because it's literally a grid. And what this does is instead of the light going out and basically traveling in every which direction, the light will travel through the focus grid, right? It goes through the grid, and then it's not going to, and this grid like contains it. So instead of going everywhere, it kind of pushes it all in one direction. And so what you can do with this is you can get more dramatic lighting. You can control the light a little bit. It's almost like turning it into not really a beam per se, but it just, why we call it a focus grid, it just focuses it in one direction. And the way you attach it to your Key Light Air Mark II is incredibly simple. So I'm just going to take this one here as an example. You have your Key Light Air Mark II, and you just snap it onto the front like that. It's magnetically held in place. So if you want to then quickly take it off, let's say you're using the light in a different location, or you are changing your setup a little bit, or your shot, you simply take it off like so. Super, super easy. Now, let's take a look at what this actually looks like when we attach the focus grids to two of the Key Light Air Mark II. So in the setup here, I've got camera hub. Move this around a little bit. And let's see, maybe we can actually get a quick wide shot of the setup. So I've got two Key Light Air Mark II that are pointed at me. I've got one on the left side here and then one on the right side. I'm using a Facecam 4K. That's bringing in the video. So you can see there's light kind of just everywhere, right? In fact, I could probably, let me just boost the brightness here of the lights a little bit. We'll turn that one up, and we'll turn this one up. We'll zoom out as well. Get this adjusted like perfectly. There we go, right? So we've got our light here, and you can see the background is being lit up as well quite a bit, and everything is just bright. Now, with the focus grid, what happens is I can simply take it and snap it onto the front. Like so, that's one, and then we'll do the other. And you can tell that the backgrounds here, or my background has actually gotten a little bit darker, right? So you can see the LEDs are now, they pop just a little bit more. There's a little bit more depth and contrast in the image. So that's what the focus grid does if you have like two of them. The other option, the other thing you could do, for example, is if you just had one light on, we'll have to see how well this comes through, is if you just had one light on, let's turn this guy off. If I take off the focus grid, you'll see again that, and I'll turn up the brightness on this one, you'll see that the light, you know, it's kind of hitting everything. But if I now put it on, it actually has focused the light more into this area right here. And now I can flip that. So we'll turn this light on over here, and I'll take off the focus grid. You can see, look at that, the whole setup, everything around me, everything just got brighter. Now I'm going to put the focus grid on, and I'm bright, and it's just it's a subtle effect. And you can, of course, make it more intense if you, for example, have no lights on. I mean, I do have some studio lights and everything here. It's a subtle effect, but essentially what it does is it gives your image just a little bit more depth and contrast and gives you control over your light. So that's what the focus grid does. We have some other great examples actually on the, I think it's on the product page here from some of our creators, some of the videos here. Let me see if I can find it. They just look really, really great. So something like you're trying to achieve this kind of look here, you know, where everything in the background is darker. That's what focus grid will enable you to do, because the light is coming just at you and kind of at your face, and not spreading everywhere through that diffusion. So yeah, that's a quick look at focus grid. And again, it's just a magnetic attachment that you can put on the front of your Key Light Air Mark II.
Awesome. All right. Well, I got some questions for you. Rez asks, is that standard USB? And if so, how much power does the AC brick need to get full lighting out of it?
So yeah, the power for Key Light Air Mark II is going to be just a standard USB-C. It's a standard USB PD power port on the back. It'll take up to 30 watts. So if you want the maximum brightness out of this light, which is 2100 lumens, it needs 30 watts of power. So you need a PD wall charger or a USB port that can output that amount of power. Again, you have an option if you buy the light at Elgato.com to add the P30 wall adapter, which outputs exactly 30 watts. So this works. Or if you have a portable battery, or if you have a device that has a USB port, I believe like a Thunderbolt port or even USB 4, those could output 30 watts. So um, we also have a table on Elgato.com and on some of our uh, like Explorer articles that talk about the difference in the brightness based on how much power you give it, because it's essentially like a sliding scale, right? If you supply 15 watts of power, you're going to get around, I think it's like 700 or 800 lumens. If you give it the full 30 watts, you're going to get around 2100 lumens, right? And even in between that, there's some different ranges.
Awesome. And then we have another question from Stealthy, who says, any way they can make the clamp mount smaller while retaining its strength?
Make the clamp mount smaller. So, I mean, the one that you get in the box, the clamp, you can't really change that. It's already a pretty small clamp mount. It's like you don't need that much. This is maybe, what is that, like 2 inches or something like that in terms of depth on your table. And then it comes with this ratchet lever here, which I can also demonstrate what that means. But yeah, it's, if you wanted to, you could, in theory, you can actually unscrew this base here and make your own. But this is already pretty small, so I would suggest sticking with the metal clamp mount that comes in the box.
All right. And then this one is kind of random. Mr. 8 says, too many earthquakes in Alaska. How strong is the magnet? Shake it. Lol.
Which one are we talking about? The
MagSafe.
the MagSafe? Oh, let me see here. Of course, this is the part where the light then will fall off, but let's see, if I go like this, I mean,
I mean, if it's an earthquake bigger than that, the light
Yeah.
is the least of your worries.
Oh. So of course it can still drop if you shake it enough, but I think you're good even in an earthquake.
Okay, that's good. I think maybe we have to add this kind of testing. Like I think there's a facility somewhere where they can recreate earthquakes. Like I think I need to go there and I need to check it out. And this isn't biased at all because I've always wanted to experience those machines. So I got it. I'll see if we can get the budget for that
Mr.
testing.
8 says that's a solid 5.0. So yeah, I mean, we're based here in California. We've had 8.0s in the past, many years ago, but it's typically around 5s and 6s here. It'll definitely survive that. At an earthquake rating.
Oh my
Okay,
God.
that's not official, by the way. That's it comes with a disclaimer.
All right. Then Bricks DNA says, I need a light, but they don't put their face on streams. Do you recommend me putting my face on streams? If you aren't using a face cam, but maybe you're using like a VTube model or something like that, actually having better lighting can actually help your tracking.
Absolutely.
So even if you're not showing your face and you're doing something like, for example, like I said, VTube, or maybe you're using your iPhone to tracking your face, the more lighting you have, the better your face is tracked, your expressions, your blinks. So you don't have to put your face on stream just because we launched a light. Don't need to worry about that. But if you do decide to put your face on streams, or maybe even for meetings throughout the day, maybe everyone turns their camera on in your Zoom calls or team calls, it can also help for that, not only for streams, of course. And then Mana asks, what's the brightness cap when powered via computer?
So the brightness cap when powered via your computer is going to vary based on the power output by a USB port. So a USB-A port, for example, will output around 5 to 7 watts of power. A USB-C port will typically output around 15 watts. That's without it being anything special, so it's just like a regular USB-C, like 3.0 type port. Then you get into the range of things like Thunderbolt, or there's also special charge ports, sometimes on things like laptops or motherboards. Those can provide even more. Now, if you want to know the amount of light that you'll get depending on the USB port, on our site we have under the, I believe it's the tech specs here. Yeah, on the tech specs, we actually have a table that will show you the brightness based on the power source. Let me move that over. There we go. bring this down here. So at the bottom under tech specs, you'll see here like power source, 27 watts plus, you'll get up to 2100 lumens. Oh, if it's 20 watts, you'll get up to around 1200 lumens. 15 watts, 750, that sort of thing. So these are the brightness levels that you're getting and the percentages based on that. How much power your USB-C port outputs can be a little bit hard to tell. One thing that we do is in our Control Center app, when you connect your light, you will actually see the brightness that you can get based on, like it'll show you what basically the limit is or how much power it's getting. So in fact, I can show that right now. So I'm going to take this Key Light Air MK.2 USB cable, and I'm just going to plug it actually into the front of this computer I have behind me, just for a quick demo here. So we'll plug this light in like so. It will take a second. There we go. It popped up. And you can now see in Control Center here, it says max, right? 60%. So if we go back to our page, 60%. So yeah, that's a USB-C port just at the front of the computer, your typical USB-C port. And that gives you about 15 watts there, right? So I can turn the light on now and adjust it, make it brighter, all just via Control Center right here. And it shows you again what that max brightness is. You can also hover over, there's a little 60% here. Current power supply limits brightness to 60%. So yeah, we give you that information. And then again, of course, if you want to go higher, find a different USB-C port on your computer that can offer more power, or go with a wall adapter and then use Wi-Fi.
All right. And then Tony says that they love Key Light Air MK.2. They just got theirs yesterday. Haven't mounted it yet, but they're definitely impressed. Awesome.
Awesome.
Very not nice. Sure where you're going to fit Key Light Air MK.2 with your 5 million Elgato products, but I'm sure you're going to find a great solution.
Cool. Well, why don't we take a look at setting up Key Light Air MK.2? We'll get to some more questions, or do we have any more that we need to get through? Otherwise, we'll take a look at mounting it. So going to move this guy over here. This is going to be like the first time kind of experience when you get your Key Light Air MK.2. So I'm actually going to take down one of the ones that we have here and then reset it up for you step by step.
Yeah. While you do that and the PTZ can watch you and do that, I will answer some questions. Stealthy Zombie says, does Elgato have a payment plan option? I believe when you get to the checkout page, there may be one available there. So definitely check that out if that's something you're interested in. Ludo said that the focus grid is an interesting attachment. It's something that I've seen requests for since we launched the original Key Light. It's definitely something that you guys have been wanting. You guys have been definitely hacking your own versions. I've seen a bunch of 3D printed ones. So, I encourage that creativity. I love to see it. And I'm really happy that now we've basically seen that you want it so bad that you've made it yourself. That now we have a proper first-party version. I'll also say, for those of you guys who are hacking things, that now that there's magnets on the front of Key Light Air MK.2, I'm excited to see some gel, like some gel builds, like maybe 3D print a frame and then you can put some color gels. I think there's a lot of room for creativity. What's up, Phil? How's it going? Sure. Yeah. All right. So essentially, you're going to unbox your Key Light Air MK.2, and you'll have a couple different parts here. So of course, we have the clamp and the light. First thing you're going to want to do is clamp your light. So you're going to see here this ratchet lever is basically going to make it easy if you're in a corner or you're about to hit the leg of a desk. It's going to make it easy to make sure that your light can clamp on most desks. For the restrictions on size and those kind of specs, definitely check out our website to see which desks and which thickness of desk it will fit on. So Phil, why don't you go ahead and clamp that onto the desk? It just slides right in, and then you go ahead and give that a spin. And then let's say you have a wall that you're about to bump into. Well, essentially what you could do with this ratchet lever is pull down. Maybe you could show that off. Are you trying to figure out which way tightens it? Yeah, that happens to me too. Don't worry. All right. So you tighten it counterclockwise. And then what you're going to do if you're stuck on a corner to get that, additional tightening, or to tighten the entire thing if it's stuck against a wall, is basically pull down to undo that rotational progress. And then that doesn't actually unscrew the clamp. What it does is it lets you go backwards, and then you can go forward again to tighten the clamp. So if you have a desk of a leg you're about to hit, or like I said, a wall, that's a really good solution. And let me tell you, if you guys have key lights, yours does that too. So surprise, if you did not know. I did not know this for the longest time. You have no idea how I struggled with my key light originally when it kept hitting the leg of my desk. I had to get really creative when it was actually really easy. So there you go. It's that simple to clamp. Now, once you have your light clamped, you can go ahead and mount the actual light to the stand. So Phil's going to go ahead and turn that ball head there. My recommendation is actually loosen the ball head slightly so that you can actually just spin the ball head versus spinning the light on the mount. It just makes it just that much easier, and prevents any tangling of cables if they're connected. So what Phil's going to do here is just hold the light, spin the ball head, and then that's going to go ahead and get that mounted there. Now, there's a couple different mounting points on Key Light Air MK.2. This is our standard, most recommended way to mount it. That way the cable can very cleanly go over the mount. So there you go. Then you just tighten the ball head in place to the angle that you want. I always recommend kind of have it angled towards your eye, because I think that gives you like nice flattering lighting. If you have only one light, it might even get you that nice Rembrandt lighting effect on your cheek, depending on where you place the light. Then, of course, very important, how are you going to power your light? To power your light, just connect the USB-C right onto that port right there. And once that's connected, don't forget, one of the most important steps, I know some of you guys are skipping this, is to actually cable manage. So we have some built-in cable management here on Key Light Air MK.2. You can just snap it onto this little sliding piece here, and then press in the light at the bottom half of the stand. So essentially what this is going to do is give you no cable, which looks so good when you're streaming, taking pictures of your setup. This cable has disappeared from the front of your desk, and it's also really clean even when you look at the light from the back. So yeah, at this point, you just connect the brick to the wall, or connect this cable directly to your computer. Quick reminder that you'll have to select that power supply if you are looking to power it into the wall or provide your own. It does not come with Key Light Air MK.2 by default, but on Elgato.com, that is a free add-on / accessory. So there you go. Beautiful. Looks great. Good job.
Nice. And now I totally forgot to reset the Wi-Fi on it, so I'm just going to do that really quickly, and then we'll show you the pairing process. Of course, if you connect your light to your computer, then it'll just show up in our Control Center application automatically. But if you use Wi-Fi and you're using the light via a power adapter, then you'll need to pair it. So I'm going to reset the light, and what you need to do, if, for example, you need to do this yourself ever, you simply need something small like a needle, and then you can there's a reset button in the back that you just need to press and hold for about 10 seconds until the light flashes 3 times. So I've got this little like push pin needle type thingy here, like a closed needle. I'm just going to use this.
The PTZ on that? Yeah. Yep. Just hold that for about 10 seconds, and then you'll see the light flash. So you're definitely going to want to do this if you're maybe moving and connecting it to a different internet. I did see a question earlier about why you would want to connect it to the Wi-Fi from Mr. 8. There's a really good reason for that, which is that one of the best features of Key Light Air MK.2 is actually multiple methods of control. And that's not only through the cable if you connect it to your computer, but it's through Stream Deck. It's through the Control Center app on your computer or your phone. That's what makes Key Light Air MK.2 and our other lights so awesome, is that you can control it, and all of that is configurable within Control Center over Wi-Fi.
All right, chat, we're going to turn this into a clip. So imagine that the light was totally reset and from the beginning, and this is like an original thing and you've never set it up before. This is the experience that you'll have here. So when you connect your Key Light Air MK.2 to power via a wall adapter or a battery bank, Then you're going to want to control it via Control Center on your computer or your phone. Pairing it on your computer is incredibly easy. You'll install the Elgato Control Center application, and that will live in the taskbar for you on Windows or Mac. I'm just going to open it up here. You'll see in my case, there's already one Key Light Air MK.2, but we're setting up a second one. From there, you'll head over to this plus button here, and Key Light Air MK.2 actually uses Bluetooth for pairing. So make sure that your device has Bluetooth. You'll click on Key Light Air MK.2. It'll search for it and check it out. It found it already. You can also click Identify if you have multiple, and it'll flash the light for you. That way you'll know which one you are pairing. Is it the left or the right one? I'll go ahead and click Connect here. And then in the meantime, of course, it doesn't work in the demo. Let's do that one more time. It's what is it called? Like Murphy's Law? And it is scanning for Wi-Fi networks. So that's what you want to see there. And then, of course, you want to select your Wi-Fi network and enter the password. So here, don't worry, this is our internal network, so it's not like you guys can hack it anyways. Let's see, actually, let me just re-enter that. Now all right, and then you just hit connect. And after a couple seconds, basically your computer is now telling the light, hey, connect to this Wi-Fi, here's the password, and then it will connect to your network and show up in Control Center. This process might take a couple seconds. There we go, waiting for Key Light Air MK.2. So now the credentials have been sent over. The light is now going to connect via Wi-Fi, and it will show up.
Did you like my cybersecurity method? That was a very sophisticated way to protect your password. I'm available for hire if you need me to cover your keyboard from your stream. Just reach out at very, very, very real email at elgato.com, and I'll definitely 100% get back to you.
And there we go. Key Light Air MK.2 is now paired. So it's now on the Wi-Fi network, and I can adjust the brightness here, and of course also the color temperature. And since it is connected via that wall adapter, so it's getting 30 watts, you can see it can get to that 100% brightness here, and I can just adjust it. It'll now also appear in the mobile app. So if you have Stream Deck Mobile on your phone, in fact, let me go ahead and pull that up here. Then it'll show up there as well. And you can control it. Let's see here. Pull up Control Center. It's a free app right on your mobile device. And there you go. See, I can see the light there. I can also go ahead and turn both of the lights off. I can turn them both on again, like so. That's Control Center on PC, Control Center on your phone, and then there's also Stream Deck. So let's take a look at what you can do with Stream Deck and controlling Key Light Air MK.2. So I've got a Stream Deck Plus sitting next to me here, and I want to, of course, control the lights. The first thing you'll need to do is, of course, install Control Center and pair your lights. After that, you'll want to, in your Stream Deck app, head over to Elgato Marketplace and get the Control Center plugin. From inside Stream Deck, you can simply open the Marketplace via that button there, and then search for Control Center. And you'll see here Control Center by Elgato, and just install that and you'll be good to go. Once it's installed, you'll see there are new Control Center actions on the right-hand side in Stream Deck here. I'll start off with a fresh page, actually. And now you can just start dragging and dropping actions onto keys and onto dials. The first thing we'll do here is a simple on-off action. And let's see, I've got, a Key Light Air MK.2 right, and then there's this F012. Now, it's interesting, right? One of them says right, one of them has a number. Well, that naming is actually something that you can change in Control Center. So if I want to rename it, I can just do that right in Control Center, go over here to this one, click on the settings, and then rename this maybe to Key Light Left. There we go. And that will, actually, I do need to hit enter there. left. And then that will take it over after a couple seconds. So you'll then see it in the drop down here. So you can choose Key Light Air Mark II right. And now a simple key will turn off the light and turn it on again. Or if I want to, I'll select this other one here, right? I could select this other one and turn that one off and turn it on as well. If I wanted to do 2 lights and control both of them, of course, I could also add 2 actions here. However, I don't need to do that because there is a option to control all. So simply, this is going to be all lights that you have on your network. If you have 2 Key Light Air Mark II, then it'll control both of them. So I simply select that, press the key, and you can see both lights turned off and on. Adjusting brightness and color temperature can also be done with keys here. So I can set a brightness, right? I want to set a specific one to, like, let's say, 50% brightness. This key will simply set it. However, if I want to adjust it, I can do more of a plus and minus type thing, right? The top is plus, the bottom is minus. We'll go ahead and simply copy that. So we'll do a step size of we'll do -10 here, and we'll do +10 on this one. And now those 2 keys are going to increase and decrease the brightness. If you have a Stream Deck Plus with dials or a Stream Deck Plus XL, dials make this really nice because it consolidates all of these actions into sometimes even just a single dial. So check this out. We'll go over to dials here, and we'll find the control center. Where do we have that at? There we go, control center. And you have adjust brightness, adjust temperature, and then you have set scene, that's actually just for light strip. So adjust brightness, we'll drag that onto one of the dials here. You can change the step size. I do recommend changing this to something like even 5 or 10%. I'll do 10%. You can, of course, select your light again here, either the one of the 2 that you have. And then I can simply turn the dial to adjust the brightness, and you can see the status right on the dial there. And then the other cool thing is if you press it, it'll actually turn off the light. So pressing the dial turns the light off and on. Rotating the dial changes the brightness. You can also tap on the touch display there to turn it off and on again as well. You can do the same thing for color temperature. So drag that action onto a dial, choose which light you want to control, choose the step size. So like in this case, 200 Kelvin. And then you can start rotating the dial to go warmer or colder. So we can go up to that 7,000. It's a very cool light. Or we can go up to that 2,900, very warm, very orange light. I'll leave it right in the middle at about, 4,100. That's fine. Here's a little pro tip, though. Even these 2 can be combined into something called a dial stack. So we'll right-click on one of these dials here. We'll create a dial stack. Now we can do adjust brightness and adjust temperature. We'll add this onto the stack here. And now by clicking on or pressing on the dial, it actually changes what we're controlling. So you can see here, it's changing. If I press on the dial, we're now in color temperature mode. So I can now change it, change that color temperature there. If I press on the dial, it now changes the brightness. Now, since pressing the dial is changing between the 2 actions, well, how do you turn it off and on then? Well, that's really simple. You just tap on the touch display. So here I'm on the brightness control. I simply tap on it and it turns off the light. And then again, pressing the dial changes between color temperature and brightness control. So that's how you can do both brightness and color temperature control for your light on one dial, which is really cool.
We need a clip, Phil. We need a clip farm. You're gonna need to do a clip for me. No, that's great. I need another one.
Okay.
All right. Here's the picture. Ready? I feel like a movie director. Here's what you're gonna do. Less than a minute, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what you're gonna do is I want to see the control center on your computer, control center on your phone, Stream Deck, and onboard control. So basically going through the methods of control. Can you do that?
I think I can do that.
And chat, we're only letting him get away with this clip if you guys approve it, okay? You guys are the final line of approval. You have to say that he did good or not and that it's good enough. Okay?
But chat, I need to be quiet right now.
Yeah, you have to be quiet. Quiet on the
please.
set.
Yeah,
quiet on the set.
Quiet on
everyone.
set.
Jasmine, quiet. Quiet on the set. She wasn't saying anything.
She wasn't.
She was
saying
actually
anything.
perfectly quiet.
Let's see. I'm also going to.
Yeah, we got to prep.
We got.
Can you put a timer? Oh, that might take a minute. But here's what I'll do. Oh, okay. He's cooking.
Where did control center go? Why did I lose it?
Okay. Cool.
Control center?
Chris is serious about this. He put a timer, guys. That was not planned. That's great. W tech directing happening over there. Phil makes the best clips like 90% of the time. The other 10%, we're working on it.
We're working on it.
Elgato clip farming. We approve. Zinc, you haven't even seen it yet. Come on.
Yeah.
You haven't even seen the clip yet. Phil's gonna hit out of the park on the first take. Caught a stray. Oh my god.
I'm a one take Phil.
All right. Go ahead, one take Phil. Wait.
Chat, tell me the energy we should do here. Should we do like, all right, guys, this is how you control your Key Light Air MK.2. Or do we do, hey everyone, this is how you can control your Key Light Air MK.2. Power to the players. GameStop. That's just what I always imagine. GameStop, power to the players. Hey guys, do you want to control your Key Light Air MK.2 with Stream Deck, your phone, or your computer? Well, you can do that with Elgato Control Center. Get it now.
All right, just make the clip, bro.
Hang loose, dude. Like you can totally control it with like your phone, or if you got like one of those computer things, you can do that. Or
just make the clip, bro.
You have the pressy button thingy, the Stream Deck.
It's going off the rails.
Okay, all right.
You need to reset.
All right, ready? Okay. With Key Light Air MK.2, you can control it in 3 different ways. With Control Center, reset.
It's 4.
Roll
it's
it back.
4
It's
ways,
4
Phil.
technically. It's 4, right? Because you also have the capacitive buttons on the front. All right. All right. Key Light Air MK.2 has 4 options for controlling it. You have the capacitive buttons on the front of the light to adjust the brightness and the color temperature. You have Control Center on your mobile device. This is an app on your iPhone or your Android device. Then you have Control Center on your computer, so you can adjust the brightness and the color temperature here as well. And you, of course, have Stream Deck. So if you have a Stream Deck with LCD keys, you can press on those to turn the light off and on. Or if you have a Stream Deck Plus with dials, you can use the dials to adjust the brightness and color temperature just by rotating them. So those are the 4 options for controlling Key Light Air MK.2 brightness and color temperature. What was that? Like, was that 60 seconds? I don't know. I didn't look at the timer.
I don't know if I'm going to let that fly.
Why?
I didn't see it happen, bro. Turn it on and off. Come on.
Oh, okay. Wait, hang on. We need a little bit more pre-prep then. I need to make sure the right one is selected.
This is not approved. Cut.
That is right.
Okay, wait, put the timer back.
And then we'll remove that.
They also, Mr. 8, we should have listened to this, did say cut. However, did the stream director forget the timer? He didn't forget, it's just because Phil didn't say 1 minute, so now Phil's gonna say 1 minute and we're so back on the timer.
Okay.
All instructions, no demo. That's what I was, thank you, Zinc. Zinc gets it. Thank you.
You just throw B-roll on top of it. We're all creators here. We understand how this works. You just talk, right? You do your thing. You do cut editing and B-roll on top.
No, do it. You got it. I believe. This is the take.
Okay. Let me grab a drink of water first. There's a lot of pressure here. Water. Water. Okay.
Don't mess it up again, says Nova. Don't do that.
All right. You can control your Key Light Air MK.2 in 4 different ways. The first is going to be the capacitive buttons on the front. You can adjust the brightness, the color temp. What? What did I say?
You got to say 1 minute, bro.
Oh, say one. I have to say 1 minute?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Chris has a line.
Okay, I see now. All right, I got it. I got it. This is how it works, by the way. That you're seeing behind the scenes right now, chat. I'm being directed here. Okay. All right. Lock in, lock in. We all know how it is. This is how you can control Key Light Air MK.2 in 4 ways in under 1 minute. First, see, now I'm trying too hard. Now it's too much. All right, last attempt, and then we gotta keep going here. All right. It's easy. It's easy. All right. This is how you can control Key Light Air Mark.2 in 4 ways in under 1 minute. First, on the front of Key Light Air Mark.2, you have capacitive buttons for brightness and color temperature adjustment. You can also select from 2 presets there. On your phone, you can install the Control Center application. So on your iPhone or Android device, from wherever you are, you can control your Key Light Air Mark.2. On your PC, if it's connected via Wi-Fi or directly via USB, you can also install Control Center and adjust the brightness and color temperature there, turn it off and on. And finally, if you have a Stream Deck, you can tap on the LCD key to turn it off, turn it on, or even better, if you have a Stream Deck Plus or Plus XL with dials, you can adjust the brightness and color temperature right from your... Ah, it was so close. It was so perfect. It was It was so perfect. And with 10 seconds to go, my brain fart.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll do an edit. So close.
Yeah.
Okay. Ah,
No, so close.
chat, I'm sorry. I tried.
You know what would help with this? Elgato Prompter XL. That's a great
That
point,
would.
Mr. Ray.
In fact,
that
it was
would.
actually chat. I saw actually, I will say chat commendable. I didn't see any messages come through while I was doing that.
We told them quiet on the
So,
set. They took their
chat,
job very seriously.
Thank you guys, but I don't, yeah. Well, we'll have to do this later. Maybe we'll do it after the stream since we already have the setup here. But yeah, check that out. We are using a Prompter XL here.
Bloopers are good. Great
Yeah.
effort. High five for giving it up. No worries. We all tried to be quiet. Shakes head in disappointment. Nice try. Oof.
Yeah,
I like the range of emotions in chat.
we'll do it at another time. For now, though, what I'd like to show you guys is the MagSafe mounting and how that works, because I think it's actually one of the coolest features of this product. So we already have one of the MagSafe mounts here. Let's get the light, and maybe we'll do a wave desk stand because that's easier to show the mounting capability there. With Key Light Air Mark.2, you of course have your 1/4-inch thread at the back here. You've got multiple of these, and you can mount it in different. You can mount it at the bottom here, which is, by the way, what we recommend doing, because then you can cleanly route that USB cable. You can mount it at this one here, right? Or you can mount it on this one on the side. And the way that works is you just screw it in. So we'll just do that quickly on this wave desk stand. So you loosen it. By the way, pro tip with the wave desk stand, there's no rotation on the, it's not like a ball head, but you can still rotate the entire mechanism here. So what you do is you just hold. Let me see if I can get you a better angle there. Oh, perfect. All right. So what you do is you just hold your light in place, and then you rotate this entire assembly like that, and that makes it a little bit easier. Then you don't have to rotate the light. So once it's, you don't have to go all the way. So once it's about here, maybe, I'll just tighten it. And then you can take this locking nut and make sure that the light doesn't move around. I actually need to make that a little bit tighter. There we go, right? So the light is now mounted on that 1/4-inch thread. I still need to make it tighter. But let's say you don't want to use the 1/4-inch thread and you want to move the light around a little bit, or you want to have it, again, be flexible and move it into different areas in your setup, maybe as an overhead and then maybe as a key light. Well, for that, you can use MagSafe. So let me unscrew this here. We need some WD-40. All right. So what you can do is you can get a MagSafe mount. Now, the MagSafe mount is not included with Key Light Air Mark.2. So this is something you'll have to purchase separately. These are incredibly cheap, though. I'm talking $5, $10, euros, wherever you might be, on Amazon or a local retailer. These are really ubiquitous, right? So you just get one of these. They'll look, it's just MagSafe. There's also nothing special you have to look for. It's just a MagSafe mount. And you'll attach this to, let's see, I'll do it this way this time. You attach this to whichever mount you want, right? It could be a tripod. It could be, it could even be the Key Light Air clamp mount. So we'll do it like this. Set that up like so. Make it tight here. Perfect. That's not moving anywhere. Now, you just take the Key Light Air Mark.2, snap it on, and you're good to go, right? Okay, now you still need to you still need to give it power. And that you can, of course, do with just, let's say, a portable battery bank. So I've got a USB-C cable here. I've got a portable battery bank. In this case, I could just lay it off to the side, and then, whoop, we'll connect that, attach that on there. And there we go. Now the light is powered. And then you can control it via the the capacitive buttons at the front, right? So since you now might not have Wi-Fi or something like that, then you can control it via the capacitive buttons at the front. So that's MagSafe mounting. In fact, even right now, if I wanted to move it, I could just take it off the mount, right? And it's still wireless. It's still powered via the battery bank here. And I can move it around, you know, make it an overhead, put it back on there, something like that. So that's MagSafe mounting of the light itself. It just snaps on and it stays right in place right there. And then you could take the battery bank and, you know, you could use a shorter cable, of course, as well, and just like put that somewhere. So that is how you mount Key Light Air MK.2 with MagSafe. But what about the other way around? What if you have the light mounted and you want to use a portable MagSafe battery pack? This works then a little bit differently. So yeah, we can just do it on that one. So Burrito's actually going to set up the light there. What you need for this is a battery bank that outputs power via USB-C, and ideally one that outputs 15 or maybe even 30 watts of PD power. In this case, I'm just using like a generic Anker battery pack here. This one does Qi charging. Something to keep in mind, Key Light Air MK.2 does not support Qi or like Qi charging. This is that standard where if you attach this to, you know, your phone, you might get wireless power. Key Light Air MK.2, it's only for mounting that you use MagSafe for, or for putting the battery pack on there. It doesn't actually transmit power. You still do that via USB-C. So you take a battery pack and you simply slap it on the back of the Key Light Air MK.2 and attach a cable like so. Actually, we'll have Burrito demonstrate it here. So you have your battery pack, Key Light Air MK.2 is mounted somewhere, so the MagSafe is open. You put it on the back there, and then you take a USB-C cable, plug it into one end on the battery, one end onto the light itself, and there you go. Now you have a basically a wireless, I mean, it's wired, but you are not tethered. I would say like an untethered Key Light Air MK.2 that you can have basically anywhere. So this is pretty cool. And that's what you get with MagSafe. So you can either mount the light or you can mount a battery pack on the back of the light and power it that way. I think maybe we have some time for some more questions, or open it up to some more questions.
Yep, we definitely got a lot of comments and questions. I saved both of them because I feel like that there's some cool like aha moments happening, and I love to see that. So Cappy asks, what about with just one? Are two Key Light Air MK.2s required?
You can certainly use one. So that's actually where the name Key Light comes from, right? So a key light is kind of the main light that you would light someone with. If you've ever watched how they do lighting in an interview, right? They'll have like one big light that's coming more from the side. That's your key light. That's also where the name comes from. So you could definitely do one. If you are only using one light, keep in mind that then you're going to have potentially shadows, right? So in my setup here, let's pull up Camera Hub again for a quick demo. I can turn off one of the lights here. So we'll turn off this right one. And you can see I'm more lit from this side, from my left side, and not my right side. That's because I only have one light, right, from right here. However, if I turn on the second light, now the lighting is more even. So it can be more dramatic if you just use one light. However, if you use two, you're going to get more even lighting.
Were you showing the camera preview on that one?
Oh, yeah, we can actually, let's,
yeah,
I was actually on the, let's see, we have Camera Hub up here. Let me do that again then real quick. So we've got the preview here. We've got both of our lights on. I'm going to turn off the right one. Check that out. See how much there's like shadow on this side now? It's just because I'm not lit up. I do have the other Key Light Air MK.2 though coming from this left side here. So it's kind of dramatic, right? There's a lot of like, it's kind of moody. And that's certainly an aesthetic that some of you might want to go for. If you don't want that and you want something that's a little bit more, how do I put this? I don't know, like not even cinematic or something like that, then it'll be, then you might want to, oh, the previous 720, that's actually on purpose, but I can switch it to 4K here. Let's see, we'll do 4K 30. So I'll just do that demo again. Right now, both lights are off. We'll turn on the right one here. You know, I've got light on one side, not the other. And now we'll turn on the other one. There we go. You definitely don't need two lights. It's all an aesthetic decision at that point. Where you may really want to consider two, though, is if you're doing something like background removal or background replacement, especially of a green screen, because you don't want any shadows. So if you have one light coming in from one side, one from the other side, you're going to take care of all your shadows. You'll be good there. Yeah.
All right. And then we did have a mention from Cappy that seeing the demo and hearing the explanation was very helpful. So I'm glad to hear. Thank you so much for the great question.
Can you guys turn off all the lights in the room?
I mean, we can. I'll get to that question in a bit. I have some more
first. I skipped ahead.
Super asks, can you hold the panel side by side with Mark 1? How much bigger or brighter is it?
Yeah, we can hold it next to the Key Light Air Mark 1. So the original Key Light Air. And then actually that's perfect. Maybe it's a perfect segue to talk about in general, how it compares in sizes. So this is the Key Light Air Mark 2 here. And this is the original Key Light Air. So you can see there's quite a dramatic difference there in the size. The Key Light Air, the original, it's got that more square look to it. The Key Light Air Mark 2 is rectangular. The Key Light Air Mark 2 is a 15-inch diagonal panel. The original Key Light, I actually don't know what the size of it was. I think it's like, I want to say it's like 7 or something like that. It's not that big. So that's the difference there. 8? Okay, it's 8. Yeah, and then you can see there's the width comparison. So the width is actually pretty similar. Yeah, you can kind of get an idea there. But it's really the panel. And, you know, with light, it's one of those things, it obeys the laws of physics. The bigger the light source is that comes at you, the brighter not only will it appear, but also the more flattering it'll be, right? I mean, if you take a phone light pointed at yourself, it's going to be very harsh. It's going to be pretty intense because it's coming from a tiny little area. The bigger the light source is, the more natural it's going to look, the more flattering it's going to be. And so that's why we went with a bigger size for the Key Light Air Mark 2. Now, maybe we can also compare it to the Key Light, just to give you guys an idea of just what that difference is. So, oh boy, this one's definitely also heavier. Get a workout in here. All right, so this is a look at the difference in the Key Light Air Mark 2 versus the Key Light. So the Key Light Air Mark 2, definitely smaller. The Key Light has a bigger panel. I can kind of like overlay them. This is not a scientific comparison, but I can kind of overlay them there so you get an idea of just how big it is. So that is the Key Light Air Mark II versus the original Key Light.
Should we take a look at the comparison chart too for more than just like the visual difference? So Key Light Air Mark 1 versus Key Light Air Mark 2. Like, Phil discussed, we've got the difference in obviously the square frame versus that rectangle frame. But there's a couple other differences too. We'd obviously recommend both for streaming and recording. Obviously, brightness, you have a lot more lumens with Key Light Air Mark II, which was definitely something that was, requested and great for, most setups. Obviously, 1400 is already really bright, but now you can achieve even more with Key Light Air Mark II. The color range is similar. You still have that, difference between cold and warm lighting, and you can obviously toggle that. CRI is above 94%, so that, the quality of the lighting is really great. Awesome for photography, videography, streaming, recording. They're both edge-lit, so what that basically means is the LEDs are coming out, not directly towards you, but out from the side of the frame. So it's not directly hitting your eyes, easier for long streaming sessions. Key Light Air, the original one, came with a power adapter. This one, was basically just all like all in one, like the cable connected to the brick. Now, an improvement that we made with Key Light Air Mark II, and I think generally the direction that we're headed is that it's actually a USB-C cable, and then the power adapter is actually removable. What this basically does is it lets you have more creative freedom. And if you have an original Key Light Air Mark I, you know that brick was pretty big. And if you needed to fit it on a power strip, or maybe if you're taking it on the go, it wasn't super efficient for that. So definitely an improvement in Key Light Air Mark II. So make sure on Elgato.com that you add that power adapter. It's a free accessory if you select it on Elgato.com. Otherwise, you'll need to provide your own power adapter or buy it separately. Then you can also, of course, use a battery bank as well, as Phil demonstrated earlier. So it is not included, like I mentioned, the power adapter, but it is a free accessory option on Elgato.com. You need to make sure that you select it when making your purchase. And then there's a little bit more power consumption for Key Light Air Mark II because of that brightness. And my favorite feature, highly recommended, or not recommended, demanded? What's the word? Requested. That's the word. Thank you. Requested, demanded, both maybe, was onboard controls. And you do have that with Key Light Air Mark II. And then you can connect it with USB directly to your computer over Bluetooth or Wi-Fi. Of course, they both work with Windows, Mac OS, iPadOS, iOS, and Android. And for accessories, you have some more options with Key Light Air Mark II with the focus grid. And of course, that power supply. For controls, app controls for both of them are very similar with Control Center, but you also get the awesome onboard controls with Key Light Air Mark II. You also get presets with those onboard controls, and they both work with Stream Deck. And then these are just differences in size of the panel, weight, mounting type. Of course, comes with a desk clamp, not a weighted base. So quite a few differences. This is a lot of improvements here for Key Light Air Mark II. We learned a lot from your feedback from the original about what works best for most of your setups. So yeah.
Dang, you got that down.
All right. Shall we look at some more questions? Because I got 20 queued.
Oh, yeah, let's do it.
All right. Well, next up, Stealthy says, do you have an original Key Light to compare size with? We did, and we'll also be sharing those clips. So if you missed it or, you want to see it again, just
pull it up again.
You can also pull it up
quickly.
again. But yeah, there you go. That is the size difference. It's definitely much closer to the original now. And before I would always recommend like Key Light for most setups, but now I can pretty happily recommend Key Light Air Mark II as a single or dual, lighting setup, like option for your setup. It's definitely much closer to the original bigger Key Light. What's the coolest use you've seen so far with Key Light Air Mark II?
That is a good question. I don't know about coolest use. Well, actually, okay. No, I did see one. I will preface, this is not a recommended official setup. Actually, I think I saw Alex in the chat earlier. Alex, one of the folks on our team over in Germany, he went to a skateboarding event, and they wanted to do some video there, and this was at night. And so he actually brought a Key Light Air Mark II and powered it via a battery bank and connected it to a wave desk stand that you saw here. And so at the skateboard park, there was just a Key Light Air Mark II illuminating the park and gave them the light they needed. So that's a pretty cool use case. Again, the light is not rated to be outside. It's not exactly weatherproof and that sort of thing. But that was a pretty cool setup. Outside of that, I mean, it's not necessarily the use cases. It's more so just seeing the really cool setups that some of the creators who got the light early have done. In fact, during the trailer, I think it was Luca De Pazzi. He had some really, I hope I said that right. He had some really, like his background, the way it's set up is really cool. Some of the other creators just look really, really nice, especially with that focus grid.
Awesome. A question here. I can't bring it up for some reason. I'm not sure why, but Burrito asks, can Key Light Air Mark II do a kickflip? Since it can go in a skate park, I guess.
No, it cannot do a kickflip.
Dang. All right. Well, maybe the Mark III. Mr. 8 says, didn't know there was Control Center app for the phone. Thank you. Yeah, of course. And of course, the app is free. So go ahead and get it installed. If you already have a Key Light or maybe a Light Strip Pro, you can actually control your lights with your phone as long as you're on the same Wi-Fi network. So definitely check that out. Cappy says, I love that. Yeah, no. It's very California. Yeah, no. The cable management built into the mic arm is so good.
Yeah, it's nice.
No, yeah, it's great.
No, yeah.
Super clean, super sleek. Definitely something we prioritize when we design products like this.
You
Like
feel
our mic
better when you
arms.
have a clean setup, right? If your space is organized, and if you know where everything is, and if it's visually decluttered, then it's like a mentally freeing thing. So cable management, it's small touches like that where our team really thinks about uh, what we can do better in these products and how we can make sure that you guys let your creativity roam and don't let the tech or the cables that you have get in the way.
Okay, next question. This one's actually kind of funny. Big Bot asks, does the mic arm do that? This referred to the ratchet lever. So join me on this journey here, right? We were showing the ratchet lever. Big Bot, does the mic arm do that? I'm going to check. It does that. So cool. That's so cool. So yes, the ratchet lever does work with our mic arms, with our key light, multi-mount, all that fun
Truly a
stuff.
journey of self-discovery.
Truly a journey. This is what we want from the live streams. We want to encourage you to be like, hey, that's cool. Let me check that in my setup. Let me try that in mine. Thank you. That I was trying really hard not to laugh in the background reading that earlier. That was really funny. Um, then Darling Bunny also didn't know about the ratchet levers, so awesome. Glad to help you out with that. And then
Can
Nuts
we maybe
said,
show the ratchet lever thing in? Because it was a
I
while
think
ago, and for new
I think we
viewers,
should, yeah.
let
But
me
I have another comment here from Nuts who says, I didn't know that at first either. They learned that from the streams. Awesome.
let's see. So this ratchet lever thing, the way we're going to demonstrate it is just on the PTZ here, so we can get nice and close. But essentially, the way this works is normally when you have something like this, you rotate, right? Let's see if I can get a better angle here. There we go. You rotate the, oh, nice, Burrito coming in with the clutch, moving it out of the way. We'll move this guy as well. So normally what happens is you rotate your, your clamp here. We can do it the right side up. And let's say it hits something, right? It hits something here. Is it going to focus? There we go. Oh. Hello? There we go. Okay, cool. So normally when you're when you're attaching this to a desk, you might have like something like the leg of the desk that gets in the way and you can't move it, right? What you can do though, like let's say you can't continue rotating it further over. What you can do though is you can just pull it down, move it back, and then keep adjusting it. See how it kind of pulls down and goes up again? That's that ratcheting mechanism, and that's what that is. So now, even if you can't rotate it all the way at 360 degrees, you can still tighten the clamp to your desk. And check that out. No hands. No hands. So yeah, that's the ratcheting mechanism that we have on all of our clamp mounts.
Wow, I didn't know you have magical abilities, Phil. That was so impressive. All right. Super says they use 5% for the light on their left and 10 to 15% brightness for the one on their right to get that Rembrandt lighting style. Yeah,
That's very
the
cool, yeah.
lighting placement for two lights, having the two angles at you really just gives you flattering lighting, helps maybe, lessen some shadows on the face that might not look super flattering. Lighting is really, really important for your setup. And I want to touch on that briefly because I feel like some of you guys may be, running to get like a high quality webcam or high quality camera for your setup, but you haven't quite considered upgrading your lighting first. So, Phil, when you're talking about lighting and cameras, let's say somebody already has a webcam, but maybe they don't have any, lighting specifically for streams or recording. What's that upgrade path like that you would recommend?
Yeah, so it doesn't matter how good your camera is if you don't have any light. I mean, if you're in a pitch black room, the camera will get nothing. There will be no video coming out of it, right? Because at the end of the day, the camera captures photons or light, and turns that into video that you can see. So it's really important that you have good lighting. And again, it doesn't matter. You could have $100,000, RE this, red that. If you're in a black room, with no light in it, there's going to be no light coming in. You're going to get no video. So When you're thinking about which piece to upgrade first, is that a webcam or is that lights? Could I add more light to my setup? My webcam doesn't look the way that I want it. I have to maybe bump up the brightness a ton before, it looks good, but then I get a bunch of noise and whatnot. Light is definitely going to be the first thing. And we can demonstrate that quite effectively here also with just our setup. I've got a Facecam 4K here, and yes, we have a couple studio lights to just generally make sure that the setup looks good. But even just turning off the Key Light Airs MK.2 that I have, 2 of them, it's going to show quite a dramatic difference. So check this out. When we're on the setup here, let me let's see. Okay, I'll put that in the center. Perfect. So right now I've got a Facecam 4K here, and I'd say this looks pretty good overall. It's just very even lighting. I can of course go ahead and turn off. We'll turn off one of the lights. Now it's a little bit darker over here. Turn off the second one. Doesn't look good, right? And what I can do now is, sure, I can bump up. I could go over to exposure here, and I could kind of manually start like bumping it up here. But you'll see that it doesn't look like great anymore. The other problem is hotspots, because of the dynamic range of the image, right? It's so dark in the background and I want to bump that up, that now there's hotspots that are being added into the video. So I want to make sure my background and everything is brighter, so that way it's just looks more even in the image. In fact, Brito, if you turn off the studio light that we have, I think that'll make it even more an even more intense effect. So there we go. Check that out. Now that's pretty bad. If I now turn up the brightness again, we can do that. But I don't know. It just doesn't look great. It looks weird, right? It looks flat. It looks like, and even the colors look worse and stuff like that. So now I'm going to go ahead and just turn on the 2 lights here. And what's interesting though is that that of course now I can reduce the ISO here and get a more natural image. All right, it only turned on one side. Why did it do that? There we go. Now both of them are on. Perfect. And now I can actually go ahead and reduce that brightness again. And look at how good that looks. There's actually color in my face again, right? There's like, you can see the background looks better. There's color in my shirt. It doesn't have that kind of almost gray washed out look. There's depth to the image too, because I'm lit up, but the background is still a little bit darker. So that's the sort of dramatic effect that lighting can have, no matter what camera you have, whether it be a Facecam 4K, a Facecam Mark II, or an FX3, or any other camera for that matter. Let's also now, since we have the room lights off here, let's also try these focus grids again. So this is the focus grid here, right? And I have 2 Key Light Air pointed at me. So what's happening is the background is pretty bright and I'm pretty bright, and I want to make it so that the background is even darker while keeping me nice and bright. I'm going to attach one of these to this side over here, and then the other one will attach to this other side. And there you go. Check that out. See how the background got darker? Now, in fact, I also got a little bit darker, so I'm going to compensate again with just a little bit of a touch of additional brightness there. But what you'll notice is the background isn't really getting brighter. So that's the difference there. See, like there's a lot of detail here. My colors look great, very natural there. The background is still dark, and look at the LED sign. That's really popping now. So that's how you can use focus grids, and that's why lighting is important. Like I said, if there's the difference between like a high-end webcam or like a $30 one that you might get, just on pickup on Amazon or something like that, the biggest difference you can make for it is getting a good light. So if you're thinking about investing in some lights, Key Light Air MK.2 might be the right one for you.
Thank you so much for the demo. All right, next up, Stone Sunflower says, my streamer bestie needs this. I have to send it her way. Yeah, definitely share with anyone who needs to maybe step up their lighting. Maybe it's a good, like, add it to your throne, or maybe like a birthday gift or a Christmas
them the
gift.
Light. There is light at the end of the tunnel.
Mm-hmm. That's crazy. Why did I agree with that? That's so silly of you to say. Why did I just that very, very silly lighting joke? Stumble says that they were a little disappointed with the connection for Key Light Air Mark II. It won't connect to their Wi-Fi anymore. Does Key Light Air Mark II have any improvements on that side?
It does. There's quite a few actually. So first, Key Light Air Mark 2 supports 5 gigahertz. So you get much more reliable Wi-Fi, especially when everything is close together. Or let's say you're in an apartment building where you have lots of other Wi-Fi around, which can all cause interference. 5 gigahertz cleans that up. The second thing is the pairing process has been improved, so it now uses Bluetooth to actually send over the information and not Wi-Fi. One of the things that you might notice if you have one of our existing lights is that when you pair it, your computer will actually disconnect from Wi-Fi for a little bit, right? It disconnects, you have no internet access, because what it's doing is it's talking directly to the light, telling it what Wi-Fi to connect to, and then coming back. And Wi-Fi can be Wi-Fi. It can just be kind of finicky. So instead, with Key Light Air Mark 2, when you want to pair it to your Wi-Fi network, your computer connects to it via Bluetooth, and your phone does the same thing. It uses Bluetooth, and so that way you're still on your Wi-Fi network. You're still connected to the internet. It uses Bluetooth, sends over the information, says, "Hey, connect to this Wi-Fi. Use this password," and then the light will connect, and you're good to go. So the pairing process has been improved, and then as a fallback, of course, Wi-Fi is better because of 5 gigahertz. Pairing process is more reliable. You always have that option of the capacitive buttons on the front of the light, or powering it and connecting it to your computer directly via that USB-C connection at the back. So you can plug that directly into your computer, and then, of course, the signal goes over that USB, and it's 100% reliable.
Speaking of Wi-Fi, LA Game TV asked, does it do both 2.4 and 5?
It does, yep. So it does 2.4 gigahertz and 5 gigahertz.
All right. Sub Bryce asks, how many can be connected at once?
In theory, as many as you want. Yeah. I mean, obviously, if you have you're connecting it to your computer, there's probably going to be limits on the amount of USB ports you have. If you get a hub, make sure it's a powered one. You could do that via Wi-Fi. Yeah, it's really. I mean, how many? Let's flip this question around. Sup, Bryce? How many do you want to connect? Are you talking like 4, 5, 6, 10, 20, 15? Oh yeah, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights, all no problem. Definitely. The more, the better.
Next up, Shinobi says, at the same time, I wish there was Google Alexa HomeKit on and off control compatibility.
Definitely hear you on that one. I think that would also be super cool. We don't have that capability today. There are third-party ways that you can integrate that. So for example, what I do at home is I use something called Homebridge. I have that running on a little home server, and that establishes a connection to the light and then lets me bring it into Apple HomeKit. However, there's no native Google Home or Alexa or HomeKit compatibility.
And then if you really want to get creative, you can also try out Stream Deck MCP and then maybe, use voice controls with maybe an AI tool or something like that. You can get a little creative there. But I like this switch to Phil's side angle. Kind of did him a little dirty there. That's a new emote for our Discord, I think. We're going to need someone to screenshot that. Phil, what is that? Phil left?
Phil
What do you
left,
call that?
Phil Bright.
Yeah. Phil side. All right.
Is Home Assistant supported? I'll just mention that. Depends on Home Assistant, right? Home Assistant or the plugin for it that controls the lights might need to be updated. For anyone who's not aware, Home Assistant is another one of those tools where it's a community-driven basically integration where you can bring Google Home, Alexa, HomeKit, all of that together and do a little bit more. So yeah, if they update whichever plugin it is to support Key Light Air Mark 2, then they'll be good to go.
Yep. And then Cappy asked, what if you're hardwired in and not on Wi-Fi? And I believe this is about the Control Center app. Can you still use the app on your phone if you're wired into your computer?
That's a good question. So if the Key Light Air Mark 2 is wired and connected to your computer that way, then you can't use your phone anymore, right? Because at that point, it's not on Wi-Fi. It's directly connected to your computer. You can, of course, use Control Center on your computer. You can use Stream Deck, or you can use the capacitive buttons, but you can't use your phone because your phone doesn't have that direct connection to your computer, right? So if you do want to use your phone, right, it's maybe further away, or you've got a studio set up, or you're in a different room, or wherever you might be, then you do want to connect it via Wi-Fi for that.
All right. And then next up, we got Is it possible to program blink/lighting automations with something like Stream Deck?
It is. So on the one hand, you can certainly use something like multi-actions or just generally kind of bring it into your workflow that way. Like Brito just mentioned, though, there is also Stream Deck MCP. So if you have tools like StreamerBot, that can actually control, or Atom, that can actually control Stream Deck. So you could set up an Atom automation where somebody redeems points and then you get, your lights turn off or your lights turn on, something like that, or maybe they flash every time you get a new subscriber. Streamer bot, same thing, right? You could set all that up. You could even change it based on, if you change your scene in OBS, it changes your lights. So you need to use some sort of application, like I said, like Atom or Streamer bot for that. But then you can do those things, yeah.
Awesome. All right. And then next up, Mr. 8, this doesn't need to be on a network if it's plugged into the PC, right?
Correct, yeah. So when it's plugged into your computer, it gets power and data that way. So then you don't need to use your network at all.
Right. Then Subbryce asked if we could turn off all the lights in the room, which we did earlier.
Did that a little bit ago.
So yeah. Next up, if you do just one, is it better to have it on the side rather than straight on?
Conventional wisdom would say yes, right? You typically, for that more dramatic effect and just what you'll see, this is what you see in movies and TV shows and like interviews and stuff like that is yes. Usually you have your light not directly here, but you have it off to the side just a little bit, like off angle, maybe, I don't know, 30 degrees, something like that. Of course, you can always do whatever you want, right? At the end of the day, it's subjective. If you want to put it dead center and have it pointed directly at you and also have your camera above it or below it or kind of somewhere on the side, completely up to you. You decide at the end of the day what looks good. But there's also tons of resources out there. If you look up like placement of a key light, something like that, you'll find tons of resources out there.
All right. And then speaking of that, Lias said that one key light that is the brightest and on the other side a dimmer fill light that fills in any shadow on your face would be a good way then if you decide to get two lights to have some nice, very flattering lighting.
Yep.
Thanos also said that you can make both lights change the sliders at the same time, which I think would be a great feature to show off in Control Center, which is linking your devices.
Yeah, so if you have two Key Light Air MK.2 or just two Elgato lights in general, then you can actually link those together. It can also be more than two inside of Control Center. This works on both the Control Center app on your phone and Control Center on your desktop, which I've got here. So I'm going to pull up Control Center. You can, of course, control them individually. When you go into the settings here, you have the option at the top to link accessory controls. And so everything that you do now, from turning them on and off to adjusting the brightness and the color temperature, will be linked together. So here now I can adjust the brightness, and it's doing it for both of them. And same thing with the color temperature or turning them off and on. If you do want to control something individually, you simply hold Control, and now you can make those adjustments for that individual device if you need to quickly.
I did not know that. I learned about that control. I did not know that until right now. That's awesome. All right. Break asks, do you plan to sell the MagSafe mount separately?
So MagSafe, there is no MagSafe mount from us. That's something you're just going to find on Amazon or like a Best Buy, or obviously that's in the U.S. depending on the region that you're in, right? Just go online, look for that. They're $5. They're $10, probably less, right? €5, something like that. And just look for one that says like MagSafe mount, 1/4-inch thread. You'll be good.
Yep. There's no shortage of options there.
Yeah.
Mr. 8 says that they're rocking a C920 Logitech, and it definitely suffers from noise and poor lighting. So in wintertime, it's really hard to stream with a webcam with all that like poor lighting. I mean, this is why something like Key Light and having, the ability to adjust brightness and color temperature is really useful. So I'll say for my setup, I have really bright windows behind me. So when I'm streaming earlier in the day, I mean, my room's pretty well lit. I don't need that much in front of me. But as we get later in the day, the room gets so dark. I really need to bump up my key lights. And since I have my, Stream Deck control set up, I can basically set my lighting just with either a dial turn, or in my case, I just set up a key with the exact preset that I like to have in the morning and then the preset I like to have at night. But then, yeah, when you turn into like different seasons or maybe, in different rooms or lighting conditions, you may also want to adjust the temperature. So having a static light, sure, may be cheaper, maybe even like slightly easier to set up too, but something like Key Light Air Mark II gives you that adaptability so that you can always make sure that your webcam looks really, really good, no matter the conditions in your room. All right. And then Real Life Spartan, which, hello, by the way, hope you're doing well, says, second what Brito is saying, color temp brightness control is very useful, especially with a green screen. Maybe we can talk briefly about that real quick.
Yeah, so with the green screen, there've been plenty of questions from you guys about, one light, two lights. With the green screen, you really want to look into getting two lights because the most important thing when using a green screen and wanting to remove your background is that you have even color, right? Because you are chroma keying, you're removing that color, that green color, and the more same or the more even that color is, the easier the algorithm will have of removing it, right? If you have, say, one light from one side, you're going to have really bright green maybe over here and a darker shade of green over here. And then you have to make your, basically the chroma key do more work in removing those. At the same time, what will happen is if you also have a plant that's, similar green shades, well, then that's going to start getting out. And maybe you wear a slightly green thing, then that's also going to start, being keyed out. So you want to make sure that that green is as even as possible and ideally also as bright and is just different from anything else in your setup. And so the way you would do that is you have two lights, right? You have one light from this side and one light from this side. What that does is you won't have any shadows because if you only have one light coming from over here, well, this side's going to be darker. So you're not going to, it's just not going to be as good. So you want two lights that are both about evenly spaced apart, 30 to 45 degrees kind of away from you on the side like this. And that way your background's going to be all nice and bright. You're going to be bright. There's no shadows. You're good to go.
Maybe we can see that on the PTZ real quick so you can see the light placement and those angles and how it would relate to your individual setups at home.
So that's actually kind of what we have set up here. So we've got one light here on the right side, and then we've got this other light that we've been demoing with that we set up earlier on the left side. Now all I would need to do is take a green screen, pull it up or set it up behind me, and there's going to be no shadows, right? Even from the chair because I have lights coming in from both sides here.
Awesome. And then Mr. 8 asks if Lumia Stream will work. I am almost certain that Lumia Stream can control Elgato lights. So yes, it should work.
Yep.
And then Mana asks, can we still use API calls to control Key Light Air Mark II?
You can. At the end of the day, it's just HTTP under the hood. So if you go digging and you find those, then yes, you can still control Key Light Air Mark II that way.
And then this is the last one I have queued up, but I have to check a couple more in the chat. LA Game says, so I can have one brighter and the other one darker, and the sliders will still sync relative to each other.
That's a great point, and probably something we should just implement. But no, there's no relative sync, as in or linking, where if you set one to 30%, one to 50%, and then you adjust one or the other, they kind of stay together. Right now, what happens is when you set that link accessory controls, it's going to snap them together. And they're both going to be at, let's say, 50% brightness, and you adjust it to 60, they're both going to go up to 60. We don't have that relative in there, and that's something that we will bring up to our dev team because that would be pretty useful. That'd be pretty cool.
Yep, LA says that would be pretty useful. So yeah. we'll share that feedback. Thank you for asking. Then Vic asks, how would you use Key Light Air Mark II as a hair light?
As
an edge light or rim light.
I mean, that's typically something where you almost go from the back, right? So a hair light is something where you go from, so a key light is off to the side, and then you have a fill light, which, funny, right? No, it really is. And now we're getting into lighting terminology, but you have your key light in front of you, and that's your main light, and that's usually off to the side a little bit. Then you have your fill light, which is on the other side, and that one makes sure that you're not just completely dark over here. And then you have a hair light, and that one will actually be typically directly off to the side or even slightly behind you, and that's just making sure that there's that you have some just light coming in and that you're not too dark from behind as well. So that's what a like a hair light would do, and you can kind of see the effect. Let's see, Burrito's kind of doing that now, coming in more from like kind of the back. It's a little okay. That's a little intense there, um, but yeah, that's essentially what a hair light would be. I mean, it's literally to like it like brightens up your hair basically. Um, but those are the like three primary lighting angles. You have your key light, you have your fill light, and then you have your hair light like that.
You look that way.
Nervous side
You
eye.
look that way.
Yeah.
No,
This way?
no, look at
In this
oh,
case,
no,
though,
you're
we
not a
have.
battery.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Um, yeah, maybe we'll do some content around that one day. Is like lighting your setup because like we've talked about it so much today already. Is like you point a light, do both of them point at you? Does one point maybe at a wall if you're in a typical streaming setup? Do you have just one side or do you do both? Do you do one more off to the side? What kind of dramatic look does that give you? When do you use a focus grid? Um, Something to add into our endless line of content that we want to make and of course get you guys educated and give you guys ideas for how to use this gear and how to make content better.
Yep. And I mean, some of you guys may also end up making some of this content too. So if you do, definitely make sure to tag us because we love
Yep.
sharing any educational pieces that you guys make. So make sure to tag us at Elgato on whatever platform you post that on.
And just generally, if you get a Key Light Air Mark 2,
Tag
send us a
us.
picture, tag us in Discord. We have our Flex Zone. Share a picture there of your setup, or post it on Reddit, or if you have an Insta story, make sure to tag us. So we want to see it.
Yep. And then Sirlan asks, what camera do you have behind prompter? I believe that is
Close. It's the
close.
FX3. It's not the FX30.
All right. And then Cappy asks, what's the lifetime like for these lights? How long do they last?
That's a good question. I can't give you an exact number. What I can tell you though is these are LED lights, and these are LEDs from the renowned company Osram. So they're very efficient. They get very bright, very energy efficient. You're looking at, I mean, I don't want to misquote the number here, but thousands, not hundreds, if not millions of hours of on time. I mean, LEDs are incredible, right? They like never die. So yeah.
Yeah, so we have a pretty funny story here, which is COVID happened. We ended up leaving the stream key lights from that old Corsair office stream room on for months. Like I'm talking 100% brightness for months, because obviously
We did?
yeah. So it was
Oh.
running for months in that studio. So that was yeah. And at the end of the day, I mean, we still ended up once we grabbed them and turned them off, they still worked perfectly fine. I'll also say I got my key light the year it launched. I actually still have Key Light Mark 1s in my setup, and that was in 2019. I've been using them for so many hours of streaming. I've left them on many nights by accident because sometimes I just leave my stream room and don't come back, and the next day I'm like, oh, I left my lights on. So that is definitely like they're really really high quality. Can't recommend any other light other than Key Light or Key Light Air for your streams. I have personally been using them for many years now. I'll also say there's another special feature in Control Center which does help me now to not leave my light on when I leave my stream setup, which is you can actually have your lights and any devices on Control Center automatically turn off when your computer or device is
That's
turned
right.
off.
You can.
So do you want to demo that?
Absolutely. So let's take a look here at Control Center. So like Brito mentioned, if you turn your system off for the day or you log off, you're done streaming and you just want these lights to automatically turn off as well, then you can set that up. So here's how this works. In Control Center, you can head into the settings and you'll find an option in there, which is automatically switch off accessories. Now, what this does is when you sign out of your computer or when you shut it down, all of your lights will just turn off. So to demonstrate that, I'm going to turn this on here, check this box, and we'll go ahead and we'll just sign off here. Or actually, we'll just lock it. Okay, locking doesn't do it. Never mind. I thought locking does do it. Okay, maybe it really is shut down. I'm not going to shut down the computer, but essentially what will happen is When you, oh, okay, I guess I need to sign off. I can do that. So we'll do sign out. And the lights turned off. Now I have to sign in again. Thanks, guys.
Do I have to do my cybersecurity method again?
No.
Oh, well, he's showing. Wow. Okay. All right. All right. All right. All right. Anyways, yeah, that was great. Super says, okay, that is one of the things I need to turn on because sometimes after a long night, it's like 3 a.m. I forget to turn them off manually and they stay on. I 100% feel you there, especially the 3 a.m. part. Super says, thanks for showing that as well.
There's another interesting one which might be useful. Let me turn the lights back on. I'm actually going to click on Reveal Hidden Accessories. So this is kind of a cool feature. Again, if you only have, let's say, 2 lights, this is probably not going to matter to you. But let's say you do have a partner that also creates. So I think actually, Brito, I don't know if you have multiple lights in your setup, but there certainly are folks where you stream, your partner streams, or you guys just have multiple lights in your setup, and you don't want to mess with the other person's lights. Well, you can rename them, but the other thing you can do is actually hide them. So, in this setup here, the only lights we care about are the Key Light Air Mark.2s. So what you can do is go into each of these other lights and just simply hide these, like so. And now Control Center on here, and of course then also by extension Stream Deck, will only show you these lights that you still have visible and not the hidden ones. It's also pretty cool.
Yep. And then, very important question from Talk to Me Goose. Are these available for purchase already?
They are, and actually that's a great segue to our sponsor, Elgato.com. At Elgato.com, you can get Key Light Air Mark.2 today with a free P30 power supply. So check this out, right? When you go to Elgato.com, this is likely what you're going to see. Again, some of the stuff you see here will vary by region and also, of course, availability. But yeah, these are available at Elgato.com today. You can choose, there's a couple different options here. So you can choose a Key Light Air Mark.2 with the clamp mount that we showed earlier, or you can choose the light only. Now, the light only is if you already have a mount or you, just basically have some way that you already want to mount it. Then you also have a bundle option. So let's say we go with a Key Light Air Mark.2 with the mount here. You can choose either the free P30 power supply, so a 30-watt power supply that gets you that full 2100 lumens. You'll get that for free with your Key Light Air Mark.2, or you can get 50% off the focus grid. So basically what will happen is you get this bundle, and instead of paying full price for the focus grid, you get 50% off of that. So you can choose one or the other. Okay, let's go ahead and click that again. We'll do this guy. All right, it is not cooperating with me today. You guys get the idea, though. You can choose your model. You can then choose your bundle. And if you want to go even further, let's say you've been thinking about building out your setup a little bit more. We also have this configurator here. So this is really cool. Check this out. This is actually not just a picture back here. This is full 3D. You can click on all these different items here to zoom in, see what they are. In this case, we've got a mouse here from Corsair. There's already a Key Light Air Mark.2 in here. Actually, I think this might just be a regular key light. But yeah, you can just select the light that you want to add. So for example, why is it showing me key lights? That's interesting. Okay, maybe a little web bug there.
We'll work on this.
We'll work on that, but I'm still going to show it because it's cool. So, you can select a key light here and then also a face cam. And what that does is it adds it right into the setup. So you can get a little peek at what that might look like. And then maybe also a Stream Deck Plus for control. And there you go. You can now see, okay, that's the face cam Mark.2 there. We'll go out here, zoom out a little bit. And then we'll select the Stream Deck Plus. Look at that. It's even got the little reflections in there. That's cool. So, and the more products you add here, the more you save. So if you have one item, you're not saving anything. If you have 2, you 5%. If you add 3 items, you'll save 10%. 4, you'll save 15%. So this is a really nice way of just building out your own little bundle and getting a bigger discount.
Awesome. All right. And then we got a few other comments that came in, but we are going to start the giveaway. So this one's a fun word. Don't be mad at me. I did not pick it. So have fun writing it.
Jasmine did.
Make sure that you write it correctly. I'm
Or
not gonna.
Chris did.
I'm not gonna. Who was this?
Chris.
Chris. Okay. I thought you were pointing at Jaden. I was like, I'm not throwing our intern under the bus for this, but Chris, I will. So if you have trouble right with the keyword, well, copy it from the command. It is illuminate. So this is now a spelling bee. If you cannot spell illuminate or copy it from the command, then you do not get entered. Make sure that you spell it correctly. And you are being entered for a giveaway for a Key Light Air Mark II. There are some terms to consider here, so make sure to check out exclamation point terms. And a huge, very important reminder is that this is only running on our Twitch. If you are on our YouTube or on our Twitter stream, X stream, then
Please
you
head
don't get
over to
entered.
Twitch.
So make
Yeah.
sure to head over to Twitch, get logged in. You will have a minute to do so. No need to panic. We will give you the opportunity to enter for the next couple minutes. But this is only on Twitch. If you type Illuminate on YouTube, then thank you for the engagement. But you're not being entered. It's only on Twitch. And there's some reason for that. It's, of course, the ability to contact you and everything directly. Yeah.
Makes it a little bit easier.
So check this out. This is Key Light Air Mark II. This is what you could win here.
Not this specific one, but one very much like it.
But what if I want the one with your fingerprints on it, Phil?
I mean, we could make that happen if you really want that. I mean, kind of weird, okay? But like,
That's kind of weird.
if you really want that, we could do it.
And
But
then
yeah, look at chat. Everyone's like thanking for such an illuminating live stream. You gotta do it once. Chris selected the keyword, so
mhm.
gotta use it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so type illuminate in chat on Twitch. You also have to be following. If you do win and you're not following, that's gonna be a little awkward.
It's going to be really awkward. Chris is going to sorry, not Chris. Phil is going to side eye again. And you don't want Phil to side eye again. All right. A signed one by Phil with fingerprints. We need to do like a charity auction one day.
We could.
Yeah,
we
that'd
could.
be fun. Let's get some
Absolutely.
Elgato hearts in the chat. Aw, thanks, Jake. Yeah. Chris asks
Oh no.
what he would get for his embrace that he as the tech director sits in every time we stream. And I don't want anyone to answer that question in chat. So we're just gonna pretend like that didn't happen. Thank you for the Elgato hearts in the chat. That is much more wholesome. And there's no joke that could be made there. All right. Keyword should have been I am currently sufficiently illuminated.
Insufficiently. illuminated.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
Why didn't we do that?
Yeah, why didn't we do that? There's probably no good reason that we didn't do that. But yeah, type illuminate to enter. If you guys want to learn more about Key Light Air Mark II, definitely head over to our YouTube channel and our website. We've got resources there. And then, of course, we have a question from Vic. Did Phil ever get to play Halo?
I did. It was a lot of fun. It took me a little bit to get it going, There were some issues, but yeah. The Halo campaign evolved is awesome.
Cool. All right, I see you guys are entering the giveaway. I'll give you guys another maybe like 2 minutes to enter. It's 12:18 p.m. PT right now. I'll give you guys until 12:20 to enter. And in the meantime, any final thoughts or pro tips that you want to drop? Any knowledge you want to drop on us?
No, I think Key Light Air Mark II is really just a culmination of. We've been making lights. Rito mentioned earlier, 2019. We've been making lights for quite a while now for creators, and Key Light Air Mark II really feels like it takes the best of everything. It's big, it's bright, not too big though, and it's also not too bright. It's easy to mount with MagSafe, with that 1/4-inch thread. You can control it in many different ways, right? You can use Stream Deck, you can use the Control Center app, you can use your computer, you can use the buttons on the front, the capacitive buttons. You can add the focus grid. You can mount it vertically, horizontally. You can clamp it. You could put it on MagSafe. I mean, this is just like the most flexible light we've done that incorporates all this feedback over the years, right? Oh, the pairing process, because Wi-Fi can be finicky, isn't great. Boom, we added Bluetooth on that. Sometimes the control just doesn't work, or I need quick access because I'm in a studio where I don't have Wi-Fi. Boom, you can do that now via the capacitive buttons or by connecting it to your computer directly. So it's really like just a light of options, right? You have options of how to mount it, how to control it, how to use it in your setup. And so that's the most exciting thing for me is it really just takes everything that we've learned over these years and put it all together in what is like I think our best light yet.
Agreed. And the original, Key Light Air was awesome. I mean, having the base was really cool, but I think that the improvements that this light brings
Yeah.
to that Key Light Air model as Key Light Air Mark II is really, really great. And I think those of you who are looking to upgrade or get your first light, you guys will be really, really happy and pleased with this one. It's going to look really great. Your lighting is going to look chef's kiss. And then I did see somebody mention about Elgato Studio. Any updates to Elgato Studio? We actually do
Yep.
have something there, which is that Elgato Studio 2.0 is currently in beta. And if you've already been in that beta, we actually have an update to it, which this was actually literally yesterday. We added prompter chat mode, voice sync with a guided setup, and of course, audio input selection for stuff like capture cards. So yeah, German support as well for voice sync, which is great. So if you guys are interested in testing that out, the beta is live right now. Make sure to share your feedback on our Reddit. We've got some mega threads on there. Any thoughts you want to share there, Phil?
No, if you have a prompter, then definitely check out Elgato Studio. The multi-chat is awesome. That was just added. So if you do live stream on multiple different platforms, it now combines it all together. And there's tons of other stuff that you can do within that too. The improved voicing is great. The new script management is awesome. So if you've been waiting for it to come out, ever since we showed it for the first time, now is the time to check out the Elgato Studio beta and let our, we want to hear your feedback on things that work, don't work, on things you want to see improved, on things you want to see. And yeah, our team is being just incredibly responsive. So, for example, we had someone talk about, they want to have a crosshair on like one of the overlays. And so it's like, okay, cool. We're going to do that. We added that in. I think that might be in the next beta. I see questions there, ETA for macOS beta 2. I think that'll be sometime next week, I hope. We just have different development teams there. So the Windows one is slightly ahead, and that kind of just goes first, and then macOS comes along after. So that'll be along soon enough, though.
Awesome. And then we do have a question here before I draw the winner. Mr. Confucius asks, on the homepage, they can order key lights with focus grid or with the 30-watt power, but not both. Can you add this choice?
Yeah, so the reason for that is that these are actually like special bundles, right? So the special here is that if you get the Key Light Air Mark II with the power supply is free, or you can get the Key Light Air Mark II with the focus grid, where it gets you 50% off what would be the normal price of the focus grid. So you're basically picking either or. If you want any of those separately, right? Let's say you get the power supply for free, then you would need to purchase the focus grid on its own.
Okay, awesome. And then I have a quick correction. The new Key Light Air does not work with the existing HTTP API. This is a lot of information that I don't know what I should or shouldn't say, so it's a lot of words I've never seen before. I'm going to let maybe Phil update in the Discord after the stream with more information about that.
I
feel
thought
like
it did. If
Phil
not,
can
then
process this information better than I can.
Yeah.
Yeah, just wanted to update on that since we answered earlier. All right, let's go ahead and draw the winner for the giveaway. So this is your final couple seconds here to enter. Illuminate in the chat and the Twitch chat to enter. You do need to be older than 18 and in the eligible regions. Last chance to read those terms. So we will have to redraw if you are not present when the winner is drawn now. All right. So good luck, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us, and make sure to follow our socials, and join our Discord. Had to say that before we draw the winner. All right. The winner is
3,
3, 2, 1.
1, and the winner
Go
is
to GX, followed 5 months ago. Can you say something in the chat to claim your prize? Wow!
Tag. Are they
awesome.
here?
They are here. Congratulations.
Awesome. Yeah.
Thank you so much for watching the
Do
stream.
I see an Elgato Week badge there as well?
Yeah, I think you do. Thank you so much for watching our streams, and we hope that you enjoy your Key Light Air Mark II. You'll be reached out to from the Elgato account sometime a little bit later today, or maybe now. I don't know. Jasmine's typing, but I don't know what she's typing. But you'll be reached out to soon from the Elgato account on Twitch. So make sure that your DMs are open so that we can reach out to you to get you your prize. Can we
All
sneak
right.
one more question in here?
Yes, I think I know the one that you're about to ask.
Yes. Big Bot asks, maybe dumb question, but does Key Light Air Mark II fit on multi-mount?
Of course it does. Multi-mount uses 1/4-inch threading the same way that Key Light Air Mark II does. So it just right on there. You can put it right there. You know, when someone walks up to you like, yo, what's up, big dog? Like, put it right there, and then you give them a high five. It's like the same way with the multi-mount and Key Light Air Mark II. You can just
What?
connect them there, and it's like, two peas in a pod.
What is this Phil that happened after the giveaway? It's like
Yeah.
2 peas in a pod. You connect the key light to the multi-mount and, you're good to
See,
go.
Critter Grove gets it. That happens to
You
me
got the
daily.
quarter-
You just
the
walk up to someone, you'll
1/4-inch.
put it there, big dog. You guys get it,
1/4-inch
right?
thread.
You're all big dogs in chat.
Awesome. I do see a comment here from Talk to Me Goose. Can we sneak in one more giveaway asking for a friend? We actually do have a giveaway running on our Twitter account right now,
Ooh.
which ends tomorrow. So sure, go over to our Twitter and you can enter that giveaway. Yeah, awesome. That is Key Light Air Mark II. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you so much, Phil, for demoing, and Chris for tech directing, and everybody who set up the stream and has been moderating. Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. We do have a raid here. I believe, Jasmine, can you run that raid command for me?
Before we go, though, make sure that you're, when you get your Key Light Air Mark II, post a picture in our Discord Flex Zone, or share it on Instagram, X, or post it on Reddit, wherever. Also, if you have more questions, we're always around in one of those. So it's either on Discord or Reddit specifically, or on X. So if you have more questions, just let us know, and I'm sure we'll get those answered. So
Yep.
thank you,
Like, for
everyone,
example,
again.
Peanut
Yeah.
Butter, who bought of the Key Light with the focus grid, and they're super excited. So make sure to share that in our Discord. Awesome. All right, we are going to be rating Viscere, who is actually one of the VTubers that we had on our Stream Deck Plus XL this past weekend for Offkai Expo. So
Was anyone at Offkai? Real quick, chat.
Oh my
So
God.
fast. Was anyone at Offkai? If so, raise a hand. We were there. It was awesome seeing all of you. It was my first Offkai Expo. Very cool to be there.
yeah, Jasmine was,
Phoebe
of
was
course,
there.
there.
Hey, wait, that's cheating.
It was great meeting you guys at Offkai. Oh, thank you so much for stopping by our
Yeah.
booth and for, of course, watching the stream. Wonderful. Well, in this
right.
case, let's go ahead and raid Viscere. Thank you again, guys, for watching. Make sure to join our Discord, follow our socials, and check out the Elgato Studio 2.0 beta if you have a prompter, because it's a really cool one. Got some great updates there. Yeah.
All right. Have a good one, everyone.